Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our monthly meeting. At this time, I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the San Bernardino International Airport Authority. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. It's approximately 5:01 p.m. Madam Clerk, would you please do a roll call?
Yes, of course. Please state your name for the record. Member from the City of Colton.
Frank Navarro.
Member from the City of Loma Linda.
Dusty Rigsby.
Member from the County of San Bernardino, 3rd District.
Don Rao.
Member from the City of Highland.
Larry McCallum.
And members from the City of San Bernardino.
Helen Tran.
Mayor Pro Tem Silveria from Colton is in the audience.
Thank you.
And Fred Charette.
And Fred Charette.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment cards for closed session?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay. Council, would you please read us into closed session?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. We've got two items for closed session. The first is pending litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9, subsection A. The Commission will meet with the Chief Executive Officer and General Counsel related to pending litigation, and the first one is Hinojosa versus SBIAA, and the case number is listed in the agenda. And the second matter is also pending litigation related to Franco versus SBIAA, and again, that case number is listed in the agenda.
Thank you very much. We'll adjourn to closed session and reconvene shortly. Thank you. Thank you. We will reconvene our meeting, and I would like to have our attorney read us out of closed session, please.
Mr. Mayor, as to both items, there was no reportable action taken. Direction was given.
Thank you very much. Call to order the open session of the Airport Authority. And at this time, I would like to ask Supervisor Rao to lead us in the pledge.
Please stand and join me in salute to our flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any items to be added or deleted?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. Item F, conflict of interest. Anybody have wishing to identify conflict of interest, please let the clerk know. Hearing none. Item G, informational items. Mr. Burrows, if you would please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And first off, I'll start with good news. As many of you saw, our delegation in D.C. and particularly Congressman Aguilar have got us a record-setting FAA reauthorization. First time ever at the $4 billion level, and has some really exciting provisions in there for airports throughout the country. So if you bump into our congressman in the near future, please extend our thanks. I certainly have done so, as has the mayor. But it's pretty landmark legislation. It's a 4-year extension, so they done good. Second update is, as most of you know, May is World Trade Month. Worked again with our partners at the California Inland Empire District Export Council and the U.S. Commercial Service, and held a quick event yesterday, actually. Gosh, it was just yesterday. We were actually joined by a Deputy Assistant Secretary of Commerce, Kendi Yamaguchi, who was quite up to speed on all things here on the Norton reuse efforts. I was very impressed with her knowledge on what we've been through and where we've been going. And I do want to do a special thanks to my colleague, Atif El-Khadi from Ontario. So this was one of the first times at this event we've been able to have a airports discussion on all good things going on in Ontario as well as San Bernardino, and it was fun to have him there, and that was well attended. So Commerce and the Commercial Service were very appreciative and are looking at some new programs to send our way. So was a good day out there. And then last but not least, I want to thank our Airport Technical Advisory Committee for getting together last week. We got some good feedback on our new flight procedures that have gone into effect that you heard from Mr. Gibbs recently, and a number of the business line updates. So good information there and couple good suggestions on some updates for the Good Neighbor program. So we'll be bringing those back to you here shortly. And that concludes our report.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Moving on to item H, commission consent items, items 3 through 7. Chair will entertain a
Second it.
second, moved by Councilmember Charette and second by Supervisor. No? Mayor Tran. Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Yes, we have a motion by Member Charette and a second by Member Tran. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member McKellen?
Yes.
Member Tran?
Yes.
And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item I, commission action items. Item number 8 is to consider and adopt the proposed budget adjustments for fiscal year 2023-2024. Mr. Cosono, if you would, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. This action is to consider and approve a budget adjustment of revenues in excess of expenses in the amount of $286,700. The requested adjustments are comprised of revenue sources of $307,800 due to increased facility utilization and higher rates for month-to-month parking of vehicles and equipment, and includes uses of $9,500 for the acquisition of additional information technology services to meet increased demand from both employee and activity growth, as well as $11,600 increase for telephone service charges, rising primarily from increases in monthly line charges. And that concludes my report. Be happy to answer any questions.
Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment cards on this item?
No, sir, we do not.
Thank you. Comments or questions from commissioners? Seeing none, entertain a motion.
Move it.
Rigsby moves.
Second.
Second, Mayor Tran. Madam Clerk?
Yes, we have a motion by Member Rigsby and a second by Member Tran. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member McKellen?
Yes.
Member Tran?
Yes.
And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 9. Is to consider and discuss a report on the UAS Center at SPD. Presenting this will be Kim Benson. Afternoon, Kim.
This is an overview of our activities, and many of you are already familiar with the UAS Center, but this will give us an opportunity to review for you and give you some updates as well. So as you all know, our mission is to promote the drone industry, to create safer communities, and to develop our workforce. And going on to the location, as part of this presentation, since we give this presentation not only to companies, but also to other industries in other countries, we always need to provide some context for them as far as the scope of our geographic region and its economic impact. So this section, as you all know this, the size of San Bernardino County and all that, I don't need to tell you, but this gives you a sense of how we present our region in terms of economic size and the growth that exists here, so that we can then, work on attracting more businesses, both domestically and foreign businesses as well. This section describes our facilities, which I think many of you have visited our outdoor site, our flight operations site. It's about 78,000 square feet and has a mobile trailer, which serves also as a classroom, in addition to a 4,000 square foot center office and conference area as well. So that's that section. Our 3 pillars, as I mentioned before, fueling innovation, we're doing that in a variety of different ways. We are engaging companies from all over the U.S. at this point, as well as several from different countries. We recently hosted Mayor Navarro was there. We hosted a great event about a month ago with the drone industry representatives from Taiwan, from a specific county in Taiwan, Chiayi County. That particular county has been designated by the president of Taiwan to be the center, their center for artificial intelligence and drone technology. So we're very, very pleased to have that cooperation. creating safer communities, we continue to expand on the written drone policy that we established for the County of San Bernardino a year ago now. We have now offered programs to the county that will enable them to make sure that their employees that are flying drones are complying with all regulations, minimizing liability to the county. And we are expanding our work advising other counties around the nation now in that same vein. Developing our workforce. This aspect is really also gaining quite a bit of traction, specifically with our relationship with the County Superintendent of Schools. We have graduated now close to 300 drone pilots, which is hard to believe. And the County Superintendent of Schools has already authorized and finalized a program, four programs now moving forward between now and next April. So we're getting very busy on the training front, which is exciting for us because it's a very good steady revenue stream and it provides a good basis for the entity. This is a photo of our main office and conference area. This is a photo of a recent demonstration conducted by a company called Inspired Flight. And they used both this area as well as our outdoor site to do a demonstration for about 50 people. Again, just to talk a bit about the policy, written policy that we provide for government agencies as well as companies, but we're really focused on doing this for county agencies around the country. Drone pilot training, which I talked about already. Here's a short video that was created by one of our drone training classes as a promotional video for our outdoor site, our flight operations site. It takes about a minute.
Are you ready to elevate your drone piloting skills to professional heights? Join the Advanced Drone Pilot Training Program, a tailored course designed exclusively for certified pilots who aspire to dominate the skies. Embark on a transformative 5-week journey that merges advanced theoretical knowledge with extensive hands-on flight experience. Learn from seasoned professionals and gain valuable logged flight hours through instructor-led sessions that emphasize precision, safety, and advanced piloting techniques. Our comprehensive program includes specialized training for both day and night operations, equipping you with the skills to confidently navigate through any challenge at any time. Master complex flight techniques and advanced maneuvers that enhance your responsiveness and take your professional drone operations to a whole new level. Every session is meticulously crafted to push your limits and expand your capabilities, ensuring you walk away with the confidence to execute flawless flights under any conditions. Whether you're aiming to advance your career in aerial photography, inspection, surveillance, or elevate your recreational drone flying, our program is your perfect launch pad. Spaces are limited, so don't miss your chance to be part of this elite drone pilot training. Elevate your skills, fly professional, and achieve greatness. Enroll today.
So that particular class was designed for as an advanced class. So once people actually become pilots, they come back to us and get not only hands-on flight training, but then this advanced course, which is even beyond that. But normally we start with people at a beginning point and help get them prepared to take their exam to become certified drone pilots, and then we take them into the whole realm of hands-on training as well. Okay, in the next section, near and dear to my heart is our global presence. Since we started the center, we have worked very hard to develop formal relationships with entities around the world. We now have relationships with a handful of entities in various countries for various purposes. But the main reason why we're doing any of this is because, as many of you know, and as was discussed yesterday at the World Trade event, 95% of the world's purchasing power is located outside the U.S., and we have about over $11 billion of exports from our particular region every year. And we want to make sure that any drone companies, especially U.S. drone companies that are coming to us, that we provide a path for them to export. And that's very important, I believe, as a value add from our standpoint. So this map, interactive map and list of entities kind of shows you, gives you a sense of why we're doing this and the various activities involved. Jillian, if you could maybe go to the top of that list and I can give a brief overview of why we're doing some of these entities. If you could just go down a bit. Keep going. There we go. I just want to review very quickly what we're doing with each of these entities and the purpose behind each. The Korea Institute of Aviation Safety Technology is the Korean government's counterpart to the FAA, the FAA Safety Division, I should say. This particular entity has 11 test sites throughout Korea, very, very sophisticated testing equipment. And that is really the entity through which any U.S. company looking to get their product into Korea would use. They would contract with these people to test the products and get them accepted for export or to be imported into that country. And then the next entity, Transport Malta, is the Malta Civil Aviation Authority. And we are partnering with them specifically because Malta is the hub for drone testing for Europe. And that particular entity, again, has test sites that are the ones that U.S. companies would use to test for export into Europe. Queensland University of Technology is a very interesting one. We are working closely with a professor there who has developed an alternative system to monitor drones in airport environments. And we've actually had some of our research associates work directly with him to compare that system versus the U.S. system with consideration for whether their system could even be used in the U.S. It's even, frankly, more advanced than what we have here in the U.S., so it's quite interesting for us. Unmanned Systems, yes, Aircraft Systems Team of Taiwan. This is the entity that represents the drone industry in Taiwan. They are very interested in working with us for best practices, learning from us as far as how to set up centers of our kind over there, as well as using our location for a test site as Taiwanese companies want to enter into the U.S. And these are companies historically who have done quite a bit of investment in the U.S. already, so they've got a long, strong history of that, and I think they represent a very viable set of companies that could and would invest here. Space Chiayi is the entity that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. That is the entity that is that Chiayi County in Taiwan, which is their center for AI and for their own technology as well. So I'll hopefully be going back there in September to have additional meetings with them. Madagascar government, this is a more preliminary relationship, but what we intend to do with that one is to provide them guidance on drone policy, with an idea that we would help them with standardization of their drone policy moving forward. Okay. This map is not complete by any means, but we wanted to start building this out, and I will make this map much more busy in the next few weeks. But to give you an idea, we are already working with drone companies and drone entities around the country, and again, with an eye to attract them to invest in our region primarily, but then also to obviously expand our own services and things like that. But there's so much more to add to that. I look at that and there's a lot more. But just to let you know that we are very much in touch with many companies in the U.S. already, getting the word out that we're here, and that's important. Okay, and why is that important? Because, okay, so So as drone technology continues to develop, it's more and more important that when the companies are testing their products, that they have much larger spans of airspace to test, with longer duration of batteries, with, faster drones and lighter drones and bigger drones. So we need to keep up with that. And so what we are considering is really what, if it happens, will be a real game changer for our region. You'll see in this photo, of course, the green zone is the airport. And what we're considering is whether we could establish a drone corridor that would run just south of the airport in that yellow area to the south of the green area, and create a drone corridor that runs about 10 miles along the river basin, about 10 miles east, with the other side being Sunrise Ranch, the other yellow section on the far right. And Sunrise Ranch being the 1,000-acre parcel of land that's now owned by San Bernardino Valley Municipal Water District for conservation purposes. We have already discussed with them cooperation, providing them training, providing their team drone training, and with them providing for us right of entry. So what we're considering is then a drone corridor that would be absolutely fantastic for drone companies of the most advanced, at their most advanced stages right now. There is nothing like it in Southern California, and many drone companies in Southern California are even trucking their drones up to, if you can imagine, up to Oregon to a site up there, because there's literally nowhere big enough where they can test in a controlled environment with facilities and all of that. So it's quite, if we can arrange for this to happen, it's going to be quite a dramatic shift for us. So there you go. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Any questions or comments from commissioners? Kim, that's a great presentation. I thank you for the invite when Taiwan was here. It's really interesting what they're doing over there to be compatible with ours and exchanging the information so that we can work together. And we'll see where we go with that drone corridor.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a receive and file, no vote required. Moving on to item number 10. Approve procurement of AQMD compliant JS30E series electric cargo and baggage tractor through Aero Specialties in an amount not to exceed $90,873.72. Wendy McConaughey, please.
Thank you, Commissioners. I have to get used to that. Thank you. As you know, the increase in activity at the airport is rapidly growing. Some of the services Luxabear SPD provides at the airport are potable water, laboratory services, towing baggage carts, fueling ground support equipment for not only us, but for the many cargo and MRO facilities on the airport. To perform these services, a new reliable cargo and baggage tug is necessary to keep up with the demands. To keep in compliance with the AQMD emissions requirements and the airport's green energy element, I found that TLD manufactures and distributes through Aero Specialties an electric cargo and baggage tug that would be able to handle our needs. We solicited 3 competitive proposals in which Aero Specialties provided the most competitive proposal. We are asking for approval for this item. Thank you. If you have any questions, I can answer them.
Thank you, Wendy.
Move for approval.
Mayor Tran moves for approval. Any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Thank you. I need a second. Mayor Councilmember McCallum, second. Take the vote, Madam Clerk.
Yes, we have a motion by Member Tran and a second by Member McCallan. Please say your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member McCallan?
Yes.
Member Tran?
Yes.
And Member Charette?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 11. Approve an amended and restated land lease agreement with Ashley Furniture Industries Incorporated for approximately 11.9 acres of property. Darrell Hale, please.
Good evening. Asking for the board's approval to approve an amended and restated land lease agreement with Ashley Furniture for approximately 11.98 acres of property. Going back a few years, on November 24th, 2020, SBIAA and Ashley entered into a long-term land lease agreement for approximately 14 acres of land north of the airport for development of an off-site parking facility. All design, engineering, and entitlement work has been completed. However, due to significant construction cost escalations, certain updates are needed to make the business terms workable for both parties. Asking that you approve an amended and restated lease agreement and authorize the Chief Executive Officer to execute all related documents subject to technical and conforming changes as approved by Council. Fiscal impact, none for this 2023-24 year, and a $248 increase over the next 12 months for the fiscal year 2024-25. Principal terms and conditions of the proposed amended and restated lease by between SBIAA and Ashley are as follows. Premises have been reduced from 14 acres to 11.98 acres. Lease term has been extended from 7 years to 12 years. Same 3% annual escalations. Typical security deposit of 2 months rent at execution of lease. Monthly lease revenue will total, again, $202,248 annually. Ashley will construct an off-site parking facility at a sole cost and expense pursuant to City of San Bernardino Development Code requirements. Upon completion of the improvements, SBIAA to provide a rent credit based on the actual verified construction costs in an amount not to exceed $6.8 million, amortized over the initial lease term of 12 years. Effective in year 10 of the lease, SBIAA shall retain a limited right to recapture use of the premises for airport purposes, subject to remittance to Ashley of the then unamortized value of the cost of the improvements. Ashley to maintain all portions of the premises and pay all applicable utility charges, electric, water, and sewer. Ashley to pay all applicable possessory interest taxes and maintain commercial general liability and fire insurance coverage, naming SBIAA as an additional insured. Ashley to comply with all applicable laws, airport, FAA, and local rules and regulations. Upon termination of the lease, all improvements shall revert to SBIAA ownership. Again, Ashley has obtained all required development permits from the City of San Bernardino and is prepared to commence construction upon execution of this amended and restated lease. As proposed, amended and restated lease would generate over $4.6 million in revenue over the term. Staff recommends the Commission approve the above recommended action. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Comments and questions from commissioners? Mr. McCallum.
Thank you very much. What's the estimated construction cost for Ashley?
At this moment, $6.8 million.
6.8. So we're going to get back, we're going to have rents of $2 million to $3 million collected, and we're going to pay them their construction costs of $6 million, whatever.
Right.
So we're essentially buying this property.
We're essentially buying it?
Eventually, yeah.
That might be one way to put it. Help me out here, Mike.
Yeah, so it's very typical in airport leases to have a reversionary clause in it already. But to your point, yes, we're paying it down over time with the rent credits so that at the end of term, it becomes ours free and clear. And they, through the course of the lease, will maintain and repair it throughout the term of its use. So by the time the lease gets to the 10th year, should we have an airport need for it, we could take it back early. And they just have the residual unamortized portion. At the end of the 12 years, it's ours. No questions. And any maintenance and O&M, crack seals, replacements, they have to do during the term. So we get a clean lot at the end of it.
Section 4.1 of the lease says that any off-site improvements will be borne by the airport authority. Do you have any idea what those off-site improvements are going to cost?
We do, because we've got 2 grants, the largest of which is a $3.5 million one to do the intersection of 3rd and Sterling, which deals with the majority of the frontage. And then we just had a meeting with the city Public Works team, and it looks like we're not going to be required to do full width improvements on the Fifth Street segment. Those are going to get deferred. And so we're looking at nominal upgrades up there. All of the on-site landscaping, everything south of back of curb is borne by the tenant. So out of the gate, SBIAA is not looking to really have to do anything at this point. The city understands we've got grants, so they're going to allow a bond in lieu, and we hope to be under construction on the IVDA side by late summer, early fall on that Sterling intersection. So
we're not putting in curbs and gutters?
We are, but we're doing it with grant money, not cash, not operating cash with the airport.
Thank you. Also, Section 8.2 of the lease agreement deals with the annual CPI adjustment. And that's very confusing because it says rent shall be increased by an amount equal to the monthly rent paid for the first full month of the term multiplied times 3%. It doesn't specify what first month of what term. If you read that, you could say, well, I go back to the first month of the first year, and it's very confusing.
Well, one of the other exhibits in this lease is a rent payment schedule, and part of that was done to further amplify how the credit gets applied and how the CPI inflator gets instituted as well. But we could clean that up further. That's fine.
Just without anything else, that's very confusing. You can interpret it many ways.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the index language is something we can certainly include, and obviously legal counsel has that standard.
Thank you. That's the only comments, questions I have.
Thank you very much, Mr. McCallum. Any other comments or questions? Chair will entertain a motion.
Motion for approval.
Mayor Tran.
Second.
Councilmember Rigsby. Madam Clerk.
Yes, we have a motion by Member Tran and a second by Member Rigsby. Please state your votes for the record. Member Navarro?
Yes.
Member Rigsby?
Yes.
Member Rao?
Yes.
Member McCallum?
Yes.
Member Tran?
Yes.
And Member Schreck?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 12. This is the review status of the action plan for San Bernardino International Airport Authority through June 30th of 2024. Mr. Burrows, please.
I'm going to be very brief. We're doing budget, and in the middle of that, Mr. Cousineau is launching new accounting software. So it's been busy, but we will be on track to get you your budget next month. So that's it.
That's it. Okay. Comments from commissioners? Okay. There being no other questions or comments from commissioners, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.